the Weekly Geek News Show, Episode 3, for October 10th, 2014. I'm your host, Mike Lewis, Geek of Many, Master of None. Thanks for joining me today as I run down the top news stories from the past week in movies, comics, games, and more. Thank you for your feedback as I continue to improve and grow the show. And now on to the news. Apple will reveal their new iPad lineup and other updated devices on October 16th. This week, Apple sent out their invitations to journalists with the tagline, "It's been way too long." The iPad will most likely be getting a new design with new software and hardware features. Analysts are expecting the fingerprint Touch ID home button to be added to the iPad as found on the iPhone. Expect the iMac and MacBook lines to also get an update. Are you using an unofficial game emulator on your iPhone or iPad to play classic games from your Nintendo Entertainment System or other consoles? Well, the emulator developers are noticing that the beta operating system for iOS 8.1, that an update may fix a loophole that allows users to install third-party and unapproved apps by rolling back the date on their iPhone settings. iPhone owners with jailbroken phones will still be able to install emulators and ROMs. Strong Bad fans were delighted to see that the Brothers Chaps released a new Homestar Runner cartoon. Coach Z and Strong Bad are featured in the cartoon rapping together about the merits of using a fisheye lens to improve rap videos. This cartoon is the first since April Fool's Day of this year. The show was regularly updated up to 2009 with Strong Bad emails and other short cartoons. Visit HomestarRunner.com to see the new video and archive shorts. The creators hope to start updating with greater frequency but are making no promises. Last Saturday was the first in 50 years in America that began without a dedicated Saturday morning cartoon block. The CW is the final holdout. FCC guidelines and online streaming such as Netflix are to blame for the demise of Saturday morning cartoons. In the 90s, the FCC began requiring networks to provide 3 hours of educational programming a week. Networks found it easier to add these educational kids shows in the Saturday morning time slot than interrupt more profitable programming times. The popular 90s PC game Myst is getting a TV series and new game. Legendary Pictures, known for movies such as the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy and Godzilla, has acquired the rights to create the show and produce the games. Since the release of the first game in 1993 by Cyan, multiple games and novels have been created to flesh out the mysterious island and characters. It is unknown if these source materials will be used in creating the new show and game. Robert Downey Jr. can neither confirm nor deny the possibility of an Iron Man 4 movie. This week, while making his rounds for the new movie The Judge, Robert Downey Jr. hinted that there would be a new Iron Man movie and that he wants his friend Mel Gibson to direct it. While on Ellen, he said, quote, "I know there's going to be more Marvel movies, and they have big ideas of how to do it best. We're in the middle of negotiations, blah, 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 yes," unquote. However, then on David Letterman the next night, Mr. Downey said, quote, "There's no plans for an Iron Man 4. There's no script for an Iron Man 4. But they do have a plan, and I think they're going to announce it." So is it yes or no? Would you like to see another Iron Man movie? Leave your comments below. In other movie news, a new Ghostbusters movie is in the works that will reboot the franchise with an all-female Ghostbuster team. Writer Katie Dippold has been brought on to write the screenplay for the movie. Dippold has been a writer for comedies such as the Park and Recreation TV series on NBC. Bridesmaids director Paul Feig will direct the film. Are you interested in seeing a Ghostbusters movie with an all-female cast? Let me know. In the world of comics, James Bond adventures will not only continue on the big screen, but also in comic books. Dynamite Entertainment has acquired the rights to develop new stories to flesh out the overall Bond universe and character. These comics will tell the origin story and will continue Bond's adventures with past villains, and maybe some even new villains. According to research from Florida State University, Portal 2 may be one of the best tools to improve cognitive thinking in the adult brain. Researchers had one group play the game for 8 hours, while another group used the brain training software Luminosity. The two groups were then subjected to a series of standard cognitive thinking skill tests, with the Portal 2 group outperforming the Luminosity group. Tesla announced a new sports variation of their Model S sedan this week with the new Model S P85D. This 120,000 all-electric vehicle can reach 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds and will be all-wheel drive and powered by dual electric motors, one in the back and one in the front. While expensive, the P85D is much less expensive than other supercars with the same performance. The new model will begin shipping in December of this year. The car will also be equipped with what Tesla calls autopilot, which is an array of cameras and radar to monitor other cars and surrounding objects. Used for safety features such as lane control and emergency braking for now, Tesla sees this as the beginning of an evolution toward fully autonomous driving. Now onto the lists. Last week, box office numbers for October 3rd to 5th, Friday through Sunday. Number 1 is Gone Girl with $37.5 million in its first week. Number 2, also in its first week, Annabelle, the horror movie, $37.13 million, just almost beat out Gone Girl. The Equalizer, number 3, with Denzel Washington, $18.75 million. That is in its second week with now a $64.24 million total. The Box Trolls, also in its second week, $11.98 million, has only raked in $32.09 million in its second week now. The Maze Runner, third week now, is still in the top 5, $11.63 million, has a total now of $73.56 million, and has gained back all of its production money. Movies opening this week in wide release with their Rotten Tomatoes score, Dracula Untold, 25% on the Rotten Tomatoes scale. Also The Judge with Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall, 48%. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day with Steve Carell and Jennifer Garner at 64%. Kill the Messenger with Jeremy Renner, 72%. St. Vincent with Bill Murray was 63%. So that is the movies that's coming out this week. Which one are you excited to see? Any movies that you've seen recently that you would like, that you'd like to share with me about? Or maybe you have recommendations for movies you'd like me to see. Thank you for listening and your support as I continue to learn and create this project. Please leave your comments below. Any news you would like me to cover as it comes out this week, also leave in the comments for the show. A new show will also be available next Friday. Until then, have a great week. Thank you.